In the heart of a rural Nigerian village, where age-old traditions clash with the fast-rising winds of modernization, Above and Beyond begins its journey. The air is thick with heritage, the soil soaked in generations of ancestral pride. We meet Chinedu, played by Maurice, a bright young man with a vision far ahead of his time. His mind buzzes with innovation, but the chains of cultural expectation weigh heavily on him. Chinedu is torn between fulfilling his father's legacy and forging his own path, one that could change the destiny of his people. It is this tension that forms the soul of the story, a tale of courage, sacrifice, and redemption. Chinedu's mother, Ngozi Ndidi Obi, is the embodiment of resilience. Having faced loss, betrayal, and the hardships of village life, she stands as a pillar in her family. Her belief in tradition is unshakable, but her love for her son runs even deeper. When she begins to notice the changes in Chinedu, the defiance in his eyes, the questions he dares to ask, her heart is caught between fear and admiration. She becomes the emotional bridge between Chinedu and the elders, a role that challenges her strength as a mother and as a woman bound by culture. Ndidi Obi delivers a performance that will bring tears to your eyes and pride to your heart. The drama intensifies with the introduction of Amata, Wats, a city-raised journalist who returns to her ancestral village for a documentary project. Curious, intelligent, and unapologetically bold, Amata becomes fascinated by Chinedu's vision. Their connection is instant yet complicated. She's everything the village wants against, modern, outspoken, and determined to challenge societal norms. Yet, it is Amata who reignites Chinedu's fire, pushing him to dream bigger and speak louder. Their chemistry sets the screen ablaze, pulling viewers into a world of passion, tension, and forbidden love. Bibi Sonye plays Ebo, Chinedu's childhood friend who has always harbored quiet affection for him. Ebo is the girl next door, humble, beautiful, and deeply woven into the village fabric. Her love for Chinedu is sincere, but unspoken, shadowed by her respect for his dreams and the fear of losing their friendship. When Amata enters the scene, Ebo is thrust into emotional turmoil, torn between rooting for Chinedu's happiness and guarding her own fragile heart. Bibi Sonye's portrayal of inner conflict is a masterclass in emotional storytelling. Amata steps into the shoes of Chief Anin, the village elder with a voice that echoes through council chambers. A man of tradition and unquestioned authority, Chief Anin represents the old guard, the keepers of the past. He views Chinedu's ideas as rebellion, a threat to the sacred customs that have defined their people for centuries. But beneath his hard exterior lies a man struggling with the inevitability of change. Amata brings gravitas and complexity to a role that anchors the cultural debate of the film. As Chinedu's ideas begin to gain attention, first from the youth, then from outsiders, he faces both admiration and condemnation. Some call him a visionary, others label him a traitor. The film captures the divisive nature of change, especially in tightly knit communities where progress is often feared. The screenplay doesn't shy away from hard truths. It confronts issues like gender roles, generational conflict, and the price of ambition with sincerity and depth. This is not just a movie, it's a cultural conversation that speaks to the heart of Africa. Conflict escalates when the village elders call for a community referendum, one that could banish Chinedu and his supporters if found guilty of disrupting tradition. Tensions rise like wildfire. The once peaceful village becomes a battleground of ideologies, with friends turning into foes and alliances shifting like sand. Through all of this, Chinedu must choose, bow to the weight of custom or rise above and lead a revolution of thought. This decision is the film's pulse, beating stronger with every scene. Ngozi, watching her son being torn apart by the very people she respects, begins to question her own beliefs. In quiet moments of prayer and reflection, we see a mother's evolution, a spiritual journey that mirrors her son's path. Her conversations with the ancestors, captured in poetic monologues, are among the film's most hauntingly beautiful scenes. They remind us that progress does not mean forgetting where we come from, it means honoring it with purpose. Meanwhile, Amata's presence in the village causes a media stir. Her blog posts go viral, bringing urban eyes to a rural battle. What was once a local issue becomes a national debate. Cultural purists clash with progressives online, and Chinedu becomes an unwitting symbol of rebellion. This digital dimension adds modern relevance to the story, making Above and Beyond more than just a village tale, it becomes a mirror to Nigerian society at large. Caught in the crossfire, Ebo finds herself a spokesperson for the silent voices, the women who have always obeyed, endured, and sacrificed without question. In a heart-wrenching scene, she addresses the women of the village, urging them to reimagine their place in the world. Her words don't only resonate in the film, they echo into the hearts of the audience, leaving viewers questioning how many Ebos exist in their own lives, and what voices still remain unheard. As the referendum day draws near, a storm brews in the heart of the village, both literal and metaphorical. The skies darken, mimicking the deepening divisions among the people. This visual symbolism sets the tone for the emotional climax that is fast approaching. The cinematography captures the rugged beauty of the landscape, but also the fractured hearts of those living in it. The camera lingers on wrinkled faces, weathered by life, and youthful eyes burning with hope, Nollywood's finest visual storytelling at work. Fred Amata's chief Anin begins to show cracks in his once impenetrable armor. In one powerful scene, he visits the village shrine, seeking guidance from the ancestors. His voice quivers, his spirit uneasy. For the first time, he questions if clinging to the past might destroy the future. This is not just a character arc, it's a cultural awakening, portrayed with gravitas by a true legend of African cinema. Fred Amata's portrayal of a man haunted by his duty is nothing short of remarkable. Amoka and Chinedu's relationship deepens, but not without complications. She's a modern woman, molded by freedom and choice. He is a village boy with dreams that scare his own people. Their love becomes a metaphor for unity in diversity. Their private moments, under moonlit trees, by riverbanks, in silent glances, are tender and real. The dialogue between them is poignant, often poetic, offering philosophical reflections on love, destiny, and the courage to defy norms. Ebo's silent struggle becomes more pronounced. She watches Chinedu slip further from her ward, and though her heart aches, she never becomes the villain. Instead, she rises in quiet dignity. In one unforgettable monologue, she declares, "Even a rose in the shadow still blooms." Her grace and strength challenge the narrative of rivalry between women, offering instead a portrait of noble heartbreak. Bibi Sonye owns this character with elegance, earning the audience's deep empathy. The film takes a turn when an anonymous letter surfaces, accusing Chinedu of inciting rebellion with foreign funding. It's a lie, but the damage is swift. His name is dragged through village gossip and media tabloids alike. He is summoned before the council. What follows is a trial, part legal, part spiritual, where Chinedu must defend not only his actions but his very existence. The scene is intense, layered with drama, tension, and ancestral undertones that anchor it deeply in African storytelling. Ngozi stands in support of her son, but she too faces backlash. The other village women accuse her of raising a disrespectful son, challenging her motherhood. This is where Ndidi Obi's performance shines most. She doesn't break, she bends like bamboo in a storm. With tear-filled eyes, she tells the other women, a mother's duty is not to create replicas, but to birth revolutionaries. It is a line that lingers long after the credits roll. A subplot emerges involving the village's sacred land, rumored to be cursed but rich with untapped natural resources. A foreign company offers to develop it, and suddenly, those who oppose Chinedu's vision begin to reconsider. Greed and politics rear their heads, threatening to swallow the entire community. Chinedu is faced with a moral dilemma. Does he negotiate for his people's benefit or stand against a deal that might destroy their heritage? This plotline adds weight and urgency to the story. Wats, as Amoka, delivers her most commanding performance when she confronts the foreign investors in a community meeting. With fire in her voice and truth in her eyes, she denounces exploitation and warns the villagers against selling their birthright. "They want our land, not our lives," she says. The line echoes like a prophecy. Her role as an outsider becomes that of a protector, earning the reluctant respect of even her harshest critics. The soundtrack of Above and Beyond is a masterstroke. From traditional Igbo drums to soulful vocals that evoke ancient sorrow and hope, every note heightens the emotion. Music is not background, it's character. The songs, written in native dialects, bring authenticity to the experience. You don't just watch this film, you feel it pulse through your veins. As Chinedu prepares to speak at the final council meeting, he is betrayed by someone close, a friend who sells him out for political gain. The betrayal cuts deep, exposing the cost of leadership. The scene where Chinedu finds out is gut-wrenching, no words, just silence, rain, and the look of heartbreak. Maurice Sam delivers with raw vulnerability, reminding us that heroes are also human. Chief Anin, after witnessing the community's descent into chaos, has a reckoning. In a surprising twist, he publicly apologizes for letting fear rule his heart. He asks the council to listen to Chinedu. Not as an elder speaking to a youth, but as a man speaking to another man. This moment is historic in the film, symbolizing the breaking of generational walls. With new permission, Chinedu presents his vision, a sustainable model of agriculture, education, and youth empowerment that respects tradition while embracing innovation. His speech is met with silence, then thunderous applause from the younger villagers. The elders, moved yet unsure, agree to vote. The outcome is uncertain, but the movement has begun. Amaka receives a job offer from the city and is forced to choose between staying with Chinedu or continuing her career. Her inner conflict adds a tender tension to the story. In a farewell scene that rivals any in Nollywood history, the two lovers promise to find each other again, no matter where life leads. Their final kiss is a silent vow. Ebo, in a final act of strength, steps forward to lead the village's women in a development initiative inspired by Chinedu's dream. The sight of her organizing workshops, planting trees, and building community classrooms is deeply satisfying. She becomes the quiet heroine of the film, proving that love is not always about possession, it's about contribution. The movie ends not with a conclusion, but with a beginning. A new dawn breaks over the village as the first youth council is formed. Ngozi smiles, tears in her eyes, as she sees her son not as a boy who challenged tradition, but as a man who helped reshape it. The final shot is a slow pan of the village, alive with promise, followed by the title, Above and Beyond. With sweeping cinematography, powerful performances, and a story that resonates across ages, Above and Beyond is more than entertainment, it's a movement. It invites us to examine our roots, question our norms, and push the boundaries of what is possible. It's a film that honors the old while boldly stepping into the new. This is not just Maurice Sam's best performance. It is a defining moment in his career. His ability to portray inner conflict with such sincerity is captivating. Every tear, every smile, every whispered line pulls you deeper into Chinedu's world. Maurice doesn't act in this film, he becomes Chinedu. Wats brings an authenticity to Amaka that is both refreshing and revolutionary. She is fearless yet tender, bold yet vulnerable. Her performance challenges stereotypes of modern African women, reminding us that strength and softness can coexist. Bibi Sonye's Ebo is a quiet storm. She doesn't need grand gestures or loud scenes, her power lies in silence, in stolen glances, in words left unsaid. Her arc from timid admirer to community leader is one of the most inspiring transitions in the film. Ndidi Obi and Amata bring old Nollywood glory back to life. Their chemistry, wisdom, and presence lend credibility and weight to the narrative. They are not just actors. They are cultural custodians, reminding us why experience matters in storytelling. As the Youth Council holds its first meeting under the village tree, with boys and girls seated side by side, a new symbol of unity takes root. For the first time, the voices of young women are given equal space, and it is here that Ebo gives her first speech. With grace, she declares, "We are no longer just daughters of this land. We are its future." The crowd erupts. Her words, once whispered in secret, now echo with purpose. The moment seals her legacy as a trailblazer for the next generation. Chinedu walks through the village, no longer a boy with a dream, but a leader who paid the price for vision. The people bow their heads in respect, not because tradition demands it, but because he has earned it. The camera follows him slowly, pausing to capture children playing, elders smiling, and farmlands being cleared by youth. It's a new chapter for the village, a rebirth of both spirit and soil. Amaka, now in the city, watches the news of the village reforms on television. Tears slide down her cheeks, not of sorrow, but pride. She left, but a piece of her heart remains in that soil, that man, and that dream. As she prepares to publish her documentary, she titles it Above and Beyond, the story of one village's awakening. Her journey, though distant, is far from over. A surprise reunion takes place during a youth summit in Abuja, where Chinedu is invited as a guest speaker. Amaka sits in the audience, unnoticed until he locks eyes with her mid-sentence. The energy shifts. The speech becomes personal. His final words, "No matter where you come from, never be afraid to go above and beyond," draw a standing ovation and a tearful embrace backstage. Ngozi, the quiet force behind Chinedu's strength, becomes a revered voice among the women. They seek her counsel, not out of duty, but admiration. Her journey from obedient wife to the mother of a revolutionary is one of quiet defiance. She teaches the women to believe not only in their sons, but in themselves. Her legacy is a silent revolution. The village transforms slowly. New schools are built beside old shrines. Solar panels share rooftops with ancestral symbols. Young men who once dreamed of escaping to the city now find purpose at home. The fusion of tradition and innovation becomes the new culture, one that honors the past without being shackled by it. As the seasons change, so too does the narrative. The story isn't just Chinedu's anymore. It belongs to every woman who questioned, every elder who listened, every child who watched. It belongs to the soil that bore it, the sky that witnessed it, and the people who lived it. Above and Beyond becomes a cultural tapestry. In a surprising subplot, the friend who betrayed Chinedu returns, broken, remorseful, and seeking redemption. Rather than revenge, Chinedu offers forgiveness. A divided past can't build a united future, he says. The village learns that progress isn't just about new roads, it's about healing old wounds. The spiritual undertones of the movie elevate its emotional weight. Dreams, visions, ancestral appearances, all merge into a narrative that feels both divine and grounded. It's not just a physical transformation of the village, it's a spiritual rebirth. Viewers are invited to reflect on their own beliefs, fears, and inner battles. Symbolism dances through every frame. The river represents memory. The mountain, resilience. The broken calabash, sacrifice. From wardrobe to set design, nothing is accidental. The colors, textures, and sounds immerse the viewer in a world that is both distinctly African and universally human. A mid-credit scene shows Amaka's documentary airing on international platforms, sparking interest in African grassroots development. Emails flood in. Young Africans abroad want to replicate Chinedu's model. Suddenly, what began as a village struggle becomes a continental inspiration. Maurice Sam's final scene is quiet. No words, no music. Just him watching kids play in the schoolyard he helped build. His face, worn and wise, says everything. It's a full circle moment that anchors the entire film in grace and gratitude. A performance that lingers. Wats closes her act not with a love story, but a purpose story. She chooses to return to the village, not for Chinedu, but for herself. She opens a media literacy center for rural girls, training them to own their voices. In doing so, she becomes more than a love interest, she becomes a movement. Fred Amata's Chief Anin retires, not in disgrace, but with dignity. In his final speech, he blesses the youth and tells them to build bridges with both hands open. His arc is a lesson in humility, a leader who learns, unlearns, and leads again. A lesson for our times. Ndidi Obi delivers one last masterful moment in a scene where she blesses her son and Amaka under the village's sacred tree. With tears in her eyes, she chants a prayer in her native tongue, thanking their ancestors for allowing her to witness history. It is a performance rooted in depth and devotion. The ending montage is breathtaking: weddings, children, new buildings, cultural festivals infused with fresh meaning. The village has not lost its soul, it has evolved. And through it all, a narrator's voice whispers, when we honor where we come from, we rise above where we've been. Above and Beyond doesn't lecture, it enlightens. It doesn't force, it inspires. It is a film crafted not just for Nollywood lovers, but for anyone who believes in the power of culture, community, and courage. It speaks a universal language through distinctly African eyes. Every performance is intentional. Every scene, layered. The film doesn't just tell a story, it paints one. You don't just watch it, you live it. You laugh, cry, reflect, and rise with every beat. It is a cinematic experience that stays long after the screen fades to black. The production quality of Above and Beyond sets a new standard for Nollywood. From its lighting to editing, the film is technically superb. But its true power lies in storytelling. It proves that you don't need explosions to spark emotions, you need truth. This film is a call to action for African youth. It challenges us to not run from our roots, but to use them as the foundation for flight. It says to every young African dreamer, your story matters. Your village matters. Your voice matters. And to parents watching, it is a reminder that your children are not here to repeat your steps, but to build new roads from your footprints. That tradition is not a cage, but a compass. And that letting go isn't losing, it's trusting. To the elders, Above and Beyond is a plea for openness. For understanding that the future isn't here to erase the past, but to evolve it. That wisdom is in listening as much as in speaking. And that sometimes, the young have something to teach too. To lovers of African cinema, this is your crown jewel. A film that dares to rise above clichés and stereotypes. A film that holds our culture tenderly, but boldly dares it to grow. It's Nollywood, yes, but it's also timeless, universal, unforgettable. To the diaspora, this is your story too. Your village may be miles away, but its heartbeat lives in you. This film reconnects you, not just to the land, but to your essence. Watch it. Share it. Let it be your bridge home. Above and Beyond is not just a film, it's a movement. A story of how one voice can awaken many, how one village can light a continent. It dares us all to think higher, love deeper, and rise stronger. It's not about where you're from, it's about where you dare to go. Are you ready to witness the film that's redefining African storytelling? One that is rich in drama, culture, love, and layered emotions. Don't just hear about it, experience it for yourself. This is the Nollywood gem you didn't know you needed. Gather your friends, your family, your community. Watch it together. Let it spark conversations, debates, and dreams. Let it challenge and comfort you at the same time. This is more than cinema, it's a soul-searching experience. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this movie preview. Spread the word about Above and Beyond. Let the world know that Nollywood is not just alive, it's thriving. Your support helps more stories like this rise to the screen. Follow our YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss updates, behind-the-scenes clips, and interviews with the cast. Support African storytelling by becoming part of this journey. Together, we go above and beyond. This is your invitation, step into a world where culture meets courage. Where tradition dances with transformation. Where hearts break, mend, and rise again. Above and Beyond isn't just a film, it's a revolution in motion. Be part of it. Watch it. Feel it. Live it.